Welcome to Summed Up Books. All right, today we're tackling a big one, Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers, and we're going to tear apart one of the most popular ideas out there, the whole myth of the self-made person.
You know the story, right? The lone genius, the gritty entrepreneur who pulls themselves up by their bootstraps. We all love that story. But what if it's mostly a fairy tale? What if there's way more going on behind the scenes?
Okay, to get our heads around this, we're going to start in a pretty unlikely place, a freezing cold Canadian hockey rink. Because it turns out there's a really weird secret hiding in plain sight among the best hockey players, and it changes everything.
Get this. If you look at a top-tier team, like the Medicine Hat Tigers, a whopping 40% of their players were born in January, February, or March. Just those 3 months. I mean, how is that even possible?
Now, you might think, okay, that's just a weird coincidence, but it's not. It's actually a massive clue. It points to this hidden blueprint for success. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
All right, here's how we're going to tackle this. We've got 3 big ideas from the book, the architecture of opportunity, the power of legacy, and finally, redefining genius. First up, the architecture of opportunity. The big idea here? Success is almost never a solo mission. It's all about these little, unearned advantages that pile up until they become something huge.
Gladwell has a great name for this, the Matthew effect. It's from the Bible, the idea that to those who have, more will be given. Basically, it's a snowball effect. The people who start with a small edge just keep getting more and more advantages, pulling further and further ahead.
So let's bring it back to those hockey players. The kids born in January weren't born with better hockey genes. Nope, they were just a little bit older than the kids born in December. And when you're 9 years old, that little bit of age means you're bigger, you're stronger. So what happens? You get picked for the travel team, you get better coaches, you practice more. And that tiny head start turns into a massive, massive skill gap over time.
And this isn't just a hockey thing, not at all. Think about a tech legend like Bill Joy. Was he a genius? Absolutely. But he also had this incredible, lucky break. He ended up at one of the very few universities in the world that had a computer center you could use 24/7 right when personal computing was about to explode. Pure luck of being in the right place at the right time.
Okay, so that's opportunity. But there's another layer to this. Let's talk about our second point, the power of legacy. Because where we come from, our culture, our history, it writes these invisible rules that we all follow.
Yeah, I'm talking about things like our attitude towards hard work, or how we talk to our bosses. These are cultural legacies, and they are super powerful. They can be a secret weapon, or they can be an anchor, holding you back.
And here's where it gets really fascinating. Gladwell gives these amazing examples, like the intense, patient work ethic that comes from a culture of rice farming. Turns out that's an incredible advantage when it comes to solving tough math problems. But then you take another cultural trait, like being super respectful to authority. In most cases, that's great. But in an airplane cockpit during an emergency, that deference can actually be deadly. It's the same idea. Culture is context.
All right, this brings us to the third and final piece of this whole puzzle. We need to completely redefine what we think of as genius. You've probably heard of this one, the famous 10,000-hour rule. The idea is simple but powerful. To become truly world-class at something, anything, it takes about 10,000 hours of deliberate practice. And that word deliberate is key. It's not just doing it, it's pushing yourself, getting feedback, and constantly improving.
And this isn't just some number Gladwell pulled out of thin air. He points to this incredible study of violinists in Berlin, and they found a super clear pattern. The good violinists had practiced about 8,000 hours, but the elite, the future superstars, every single one of them was closing on 10,000 hours. The connection was undeniable.
Okay, but here comes the twist, and you really need to get this. 10,000 hours is not enough. It's not. All that practice means nothing if you don't have the opportunity to do it, and, just as important, what Gladwell calls practical intelligence. We're talking about street smarts.
And the story of Christopher Langan versus Bill Joy just nails this point. Langan might be one of the smartest people alive, IQ off the charts, a legit genius. But he grew up poor and just didn't have the social skills, the savvy, to navigate the world and make his genius count. Bill Joy, though, he had the smarts to figure out how to get into that computer lab, how to talk to people, how to bend the rules to get his 10,000 hours in. See the difference? Raw IQ isn't enough.
So let's put this all together. What does this mean for us? The cool thing about Outliers is that it's not just about tearing down old ideas. It actually gives us a totally new playbook for success. So here are the 3 big takeaways you can actually use. Number 1, audit your opportunities. Look around. What are your unique, lucky advantages? Your timing, your location. Number 2, leverage your legacy. What's the secret skill your background gave you? Find it and use it. And number 3, combine practice with practical IQ. Yeah, put in the 10,000 hours, but also learn the unwritten rules of the game. Get those street smarts.
So from now on, when you see someone who's incredibly successful, don't just see the genius. Look deeper. Look for the lucky breaks, the family history, the 10,000 hours nobody saw, because that's the real story. And the big question for you to think about is, what's your hidden advantage? Hey, if this got you thinking, you should definitely check out the full book. We've got a link in the description where you can grab a copy of Outliers, or even get it for free with an Audible trial. And of course, if you want more deep dives like this one, do us a favor and hit that like button and subscribe. We'll see you in the next explainer.